Sam, you want to go ahead and start, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sam's going to go ahead and start it first and go over some.
The first thing that I do want to talk about is my QAPI. QAPI is a quality insurance performance improvement. If I see something on the floor that needs to improve, I'll do a improvement project on it. Um, this is something that I started last fall, and it was a preventative health. Anytime we administer COVID vaccine, flu vaccine, any kind of immunization vaccine, or a TB test, or any kind of skin test, it needs to be documented under preventative health. Because last year we had two residents who was discharged, but a family member came to visit us and asked for a TB test result and wanted a copy. When I went into preventative health, there was nothing there. So I have to do a report. And the report, it comes out looking like this. And it's not, well polished. Because when a family member look at this, they might ask, what is MA? MA is a staff initial. And then, RUE, what is RUE? Just meaning the site, right upper extremity. And then when you read the result, again, it has people's initial on it. Like KM, who's KM, what is it? A family member might ask. So I have to highlight everything to show it can be clear for the readers. And when you go into a new facility, what all this highlighted mean, because it's not clean and polished, because you have all the diagnosis, it's too much. But if you did do the preventative health, it was real short and simple. The date it was administered, the location, the result of the test is all here. Short and simple, nothing like this, where it's all, a lot of initials, names, and diagnosis. It can be confusing. So anytime we have a new admission, we offer TB tests, COVID vaccine, flu vaccine, it needs to be entered. It's if you, because this is something that I worked on last year and 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we talked about it during meetings and huddles, but I noticed that it wasn't getting through, so I decided to talk to everyone one-on-one. So that's why I have you sign this form. You were the only one who I have not talked to, so I have talked to most of our staff one-on-one because I want to see improvement. The meetings and the huddle did not work. So with this one-on-one, I have noticed that there is improvement, major improvement. We are not 100% yet, but we are getting close to, achieving that 100%, inputting everything in under preventive health. So please continue. Thank you for doing it. It's very important. Last thing I do want to discuss is norovirus, the stomach bug, the flu bug, whatever you want to call it. So, when the CNA is going to communicate with us and tell us, hey, our residents have diarrhea, do not jump the gun and automatically assume it's diarrhea or it's norovirus. You want to monitor. For example, a month ago, we have CNA reported 5 residents with diarrhea or loose stool. So when I did my report, I opened vitals, look at the BM. I noticed that the residents was having regular BAM pretty much on a daily basis. We have multiple residents who on average 2 to 3 bowel movement a day. So that tells me, okay, this resident is just having regular stool. But the CNA didn't communicate with the nurses. So that was, a wrongdoing that we need to improve on. Because if the CNA didn't communicate with you guys will continue to give out the stool softener. And then the residents is continuing to have, the bowel movement. So if you do notice that the residents are going regularly, you might want to reach out to the doctor and let them know, hey, you might want to decrease the Senna from 2 taps to 1 tap, or discontinue it completely because the resident is going regularly and going pretty much every single day. And then to know if it's a true norovirus, you want to look for the clinical sign, nausea, the vomiting. Sometimes there might be fever. If it's once, we just continue to monitor. But if it's multiple, more than 2 times, 3 times, then it may be norovirus. Or notify the doctor, see if they want a confirmation, a test. But normally it's not needed because we are looking for the clinical sign, which is the nausea or vomiting. And it has to be more than 2 times. Because if you know someone who has norovirus, when you have diarrhea, it's not going to be once. It's going to be multiple within a 4-hour time frame. They could probably go every 15 minutes. Just having frequent loose bowel movement every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes. But if it's one every shift, then that might be questionable. Again, you might contact the doctor, see if they want confirmation to see if it is a true stomach bug. Okay, that's it for me.
I have a question about
Yes.
the PPD, the federal healthcare. Who puts that in there? The admission nurses or the staff?
The floor nurse who administering the TB. Yeah.
Just clear that up.
And I think some people don't put the result in the PPD because they don't know, so they have to go to preventative thing.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
also in
they
the
do-
order. I showed Mr. Is it Ed? Sorry, I was gonna call you Chong. So I show him the order. If you read it, it would say, to update preventive health, open, answer the questionnaire. So it is there.
Is it for the TB test?
TB test,
But I
yeah.
don't see that on the preventative though.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go to the test. Just.
It's on the order.
there is.
It's
Yeah.
on the order, but
Yeah.
it's not on the preventative.
We just have we put the
Check
PPD test in where it is
Yeah.
and then the result.
Really?
Yeah,
What
it's
happens later?
in the FAR.
Test the tags.
Yeah, I checked that too.
Oh, come here, Sam.
We don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on there, guys. That you can do the vaccine and then you can also because so it's on Matrix. Here you go, Sam.
Let's see.
Preventative, right?
Yeah. So let me go to a new admission.
Unless they recently changed it.
Okay, so go to the
I'm,
preventative.
I'm just gonna go to a new
A lot of people
new
don't
admission
know.
first. That's the South Hall.
I put it in like the COVID test and like the
Yeah,
flu.
but
See.
Or
Oh,
the
yeah,
pneumonia.
Beverly.
On the left
This
hand
is
side.
someone new. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
There's no survey.
I just want to look at the order first. I'm just looking for PPD. Anything else? PPD.
I think if people knew how to do it, I think they
Yeah,
would do
like
it.
if you put it in.
So
and
it's
then if you
second
wanna
step
put the result,
PPD
you
and then
just have
special
to click
instruction.
that.
One
And then
administered.
edit it.
Please
The
update
result.
preventive health care. Open test and result. Add the test result and answer the questionnaire.
Okay, can you go
And then
there
for
They didn't know we had a questionnaire. I thought the questionnaire was only for if you can't have a PPD.
preventive health for this person. It's not under vaccination. It's under test and
Oh,
result.
okay, so the test.
And so it
And
looked
then,
like
yeah,
it was
You're on
done.
the test.
So then there's an add button right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Does
add.
everybody know how to put the PPD on here, right?
Yes.
Okay, if you don't know, please come over behind Sam. He's gonna show you because there's 2 tabs in there. There's a vaccination and there's tested results.
You know that.
And so when you have an admission and you admit, please put your
And then when you
vaccination
click
there.
on it, this is all the question that's
Show them the
asked.
tabs real quick. Did you see the tabs?
Oh, I never see the questionnaire.
Yeah, this is all the questionnaire. It's real short and simple. Anything with the stars,
Oh,
it's
just-
mandatory.
You just plug it in there.
Yeah, just plug it in. What kind of test it is? Step 1, step 2.
Go
the
up real quick,
site-
Sam. Up real quick. This see this guys? Oh, where'd he go? The vaccines and the test results.
Let me go back.
Because
Pretty
Ed didn't see
easy
it.
to do.
Right here, guys. There's a vaccination tab and there's a test results. Okay, if you click the vaccination, you're
Vaccination.
not gonna find the PPD.
So under vaccination, we have the COVID, the pneumococcal, and the influenza that was administered. If it's not administered here, it's administered outside. And we have that information here because this is all done outside. And then test and result is the TB, influenza, RSV test. Any test goes here. and when you click on TB test 1, you just answer the questionnaire.
It's very simple after that. Once you click it,
And then if you're reading the test result, you continue to click on TB step 1. And then at the very bottom, you will see a TB test result. And then you enter the date, the result, and who read it, and the size. And then you save it.
Okay. Okay. The COVID test, since when the admission comes in, does like Blanca, that's the
Yeah.
COVID. Does she have to do that?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
also here also.
what she's asking is that Blanca's job or is
Yeah,
that their job?
Blanca.
Yeah,
It's not
she's
you.
the one
Whoever's
that's,
performing a test,
Yeah. Okay.
they'll need
whoever
to
is
enter the
performing the
information.
test.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is able to do that thing.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
she knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most of the time she doesn't.
She has access because she's a
So
clerk.
she just documented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Blanca putting it in there?
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
is.
Yeah. Blanca, right
She
here.
puts it in the nurse's notes.
She puts it
Yeah,
in.
she put it in
I think she did
her
that for us.
But putting it in there, do we have to do it or is she has
No.
to do it?
Whoever
No.
performed it.
Oh,
Be-
because I haven't seen
Because
it.
if you didn't perform it, you didn't do it, so it shouldn't be documented. Whoever's
But should
performing the
Blanca be
test.
reading the test? She's not a nurse.
When it comes to reading,
Yeah.
Blanca is okay
Yeah.
because she has a MA
Okay.
certification.
I was kind of wondering.
CNA can't, but MA can.
Okay, so everybody understand that? While we're on this, guys,
Wait, I'm sorry, I was still on mute. So when Blanca, whatchamacallit, charts on the matrix, does her credentials show up as an MA?
no, I think it's she's got the resource nurse platform because of her ability to input the lab results. Not lab results, but the labs, I think. And she has to be able to navigate through Matrix, so she's got that platform.
No, I understand, but I thought I just heard Sam say that in follow up to Sandy's question, that CNAs can't read that, but because Blanca is a MA, she can. So, you know how when I put in a progress note or whatever, it will say, I think my name or my initials at least, or my name rather, and it will say RN.
Mhm.
Does Blanca's come up as like just unit secretary, or does
I
it
think
show
it's
up
just
as a
her name.
CNA?
Just
I don't think title.
I don't think there's no title. I think it's just her name.
So she doesn't have a title after her name?
No.
I haven't seen one. No.
Okay.
Well,
I just want to make sure that her thing doesn't show up as like a CNA and then like somebody comes to.
let me look her up.
Yeah, or for right now, we might want to, if she does have an MA certificate, we might want to like
So-
change her title. Just
Yeah,
as
her security
MA.
template is gonna be charge nurse, primary discipline nursing, and then secondary discipline CNA.
Okay.
So
Well-
she's gonna come out as nursing on her.
Okay. Then the other thing that we might just tell Blanca is to just within the note itself, just say Blanca Segura, B Segura, MA, or something like that. I just want to wrap that up. Like I said,
Okay.
especially because Sam just said CNAs are not allowed to read that, the COVID.
I'll look in there see if I can change her title to an MA or something. I don't think we have that as an
When I
option.
do on the spot flu tests, I have Blanca do the test, but then I'll read it and she'll put her name and I'll put my name RN after it, so I'll know it's been verified by me. So that's how I've been putting it in preventative healthcare as well, with my name after it. So kind of protect her a little bit. So
And Viviana, yeah.
and so we
Viviana
know.
does
Yeah, I think
rapid test
that's
too.
what I've been doing
But
when
I'm
I
not
do
sure
the on the
she's
spot
MA
flu
or
test. 'Cause
not.
I think somebody may be in.
What's the rules on that? Sam?
Infected.
So you're saying that CNAs can read CNA, MAs can read it,
Yeah,
right?
CNA can.
And
This
CNAs
is,
can.
The state guideline when COVID was, came out. They came out with a guideline on who can do the testing. That's RN, OEN, PT, OT, and MA. CNA was
Oh, that's
not,
right. I did
It
read
was
that.
not in that guideline for COVID testing.
Okay, I'm gonna look to see if I can change her title to like an MA.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that way we're covered.
I know she always shows it to me or somebody. She always shows it to people. So.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to add, Sam? Any questions regarding how to
If you're
put?
doing a TB test or any immunization, you want to just add that into your documentation. Tell a story of what you did for that resident. Most of the time, you don't see any documentation of that TB was given, 0.1 ml left forearm, but just make it a habit of telling the story what you did for that resident.
That's it. Okay. Anything else, Ja?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go over time of death, guys. If one of our patient expires on your shift, make sure that you're opening an event. Okay. All the things that you're charting, whatever nurses notes, you also have to go under the residence tab and go and open an event. So as I mentioned this morning in our nurses meeting this morning, any skin tears or change of condition, we usually open an event. Somebody who dies, that's a significant event, right? Just open an event. The papers that we used to fill out where was this patient, was this deceased a medical examiner, we're not going to do that anymore. If you open an event and under death right here, no, this is not the best subject to talk about, but I got to get my points across. So death, discharge record, you open that event, and then if you go under event preview without opening this actual event, those same questions that's on that piece of paper, it's on there. So all you gotta do is print out that event paper, right? Sign it, and then you can have the mortician sign it as well. Jot down the time that they picked up the body, and then you can make a copy for that mortician, because the mortician is gonna want some kind of document. And this would be, instead of doing paper and then matrix and then paper and matrix, let's just do everything by matrix in terms of time of death. You can just bypass the paper and just open an event, print it out, and then have the mortician sign it, and then now you have paper right there.
Amelia always wants me to do the paper,
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
the paper now that I know.
so I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just print the paper out and she can get a copy of the paper. Okay. So we just have less paper to do, right? Okay.
Oh, I had a question about that actually. And then once the mortician signs it, we should have a copy of the signed paper, right? Because we want to make sure that we don't. I've never had this happen to me, or even heard of it. But part of having them sign something is that, like, they're taking custody of the body, right?
We have to have a receipt.
So-
It sounds morbid, but we have to have some kind
Right.
of receipt, and the receipt is his signature.
And then there should be a doctor's order that says release body to mortuary of choice. I mean, that's
No,
pretty
I
standard,
know,
right?
I know, but I just don't want to ever get. And again, I mean, I think I'm being a little too picky or picayune or whatever. But I just want to make sure that nobody says, "Hey, we never picked up the body," after they like misplace it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we should keep a copy of whatever the mortician
Like
signed.
they lost the body somewhere, but like, we never picked it up. What you talking about? I was like, no, we're pretty sure you picked it up, Mr. Whoever. You signed off on it.
But you know what? So, and then the other thing I remember is, don't you remember that one mortician? This happened just last year. They were about to take the wrong person who wasn't even dead.
Yes. That's why a nurse or somebody should walk down with them when they get there to make sure they pick up the right body, because that has happened before.
Or
in life.
always have
Terrible.
name tag.
Yeah. They haven't left the building with a live person, but it came close.
This must have happened on knock shift, right, John, when you were working?
Oh, it doesn't happen on my night shift. Be quiet. No, but seriously, I think we should have, like, just print out two. You know, just like with our discharge papers.
Yeah.
Just print out two, have them sign both paper, just to be super safe. I mean, it's not going to take more than like 2 extra seconds for the guy or the gal to like sign two, and it just covers us in case something weird happens. So that would be my suggestion.
When they come, John, the only thing that they ask for is a face sheet. They don't want nothing else. They sign the event that we
Yeah, and if
filled
they
out.
say that, then just have them sign
Yeah.
the you know, the form that John's talking
Yeah,
about.
they
It's-
always do that.
It's mostly for us anyway,
Sure.
in my opinion. So.
Yeah. We've never had this problem here in skilled nursing. I only deal with it because I work for hospice, and it's like a big deal, right? There's going to be a time when the death is going to be a coroner's case. Okay, any patient who falls down, hits their head, and then the death is related to the fall, you guys have to call the San Diego medical examiner. And this is why part of this question here is that a medical examiner case. Okay, but if you have a patient who, let's just say, whatever, for whatever reason, they came back from the hospital, they have a big swollen head, within 48 hours from the fall, they expire. It's probably related to the fall, right? And you do have to call a medical examiner. That is an examiner. That's why you have, when you're looking at this, you're looking exactly what it's telling you, is asking you. So that way, if it's a medical examiner and it's related to a fall, just call the San Diego coroner's case. Okay, so that's all I want to add
Do
on.
we have that number?
I
Is it on there?
believe it's
Or do we not know that number?
right here.
Oh, it's in there.
Check is medical examiner's office 858-694.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can also, I don't believe this has changed recently, so, but you can just Google it too. It's updated all the time. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions on that time of death? I want to move quickly here. There's gonna be a time when the internet is down, guys. And I know we've kind of played around with this. There was one situation where the internet was down for like 3 or 4 days, and we were struggling on how to give medication. Unfortunately, that computer is down right now, so I can't really show you how to plug this in. But you guys have been given this once or twice. This is actually the order for Matrix. If you open this up, it'll come up with treatments, monitor, and you'd be able to click it. It's going to be under PDF, okay? And unfortunately, when putting this in the computer, desktop versus computer, laptops, the way to edit this is like, it's so different. So when you plug it into your laptop and it doesn't allow you to edit it, please reach out to the resource nurse or the clerk, and they'll be able to kind of help you navigate how to edit this. Okay, there's a certain way to edit it, and
I have no idea how to do that.
yeah. So on this right here on the PDF for the laptop, usually you go under usually and this one right here doesn't allow you to do it because it's such an old computer. Under edit, you can go under edit and it'll allow you edit it. And then I'm gonna set a video to you guys as well, because I made a video and that should kind of walk you through on how to edit the PDF. Okay.
I don't even know what those are. What are those?
So this is when your internet is down,
Okay.
your Matrix system will generate orders for your most recent resident.
they'll
So
put
for
it in
example,
for you.
if it's not a planned outage, for example, right now, all the internet goes down. We go black, right? And how are we going to pass meds? Unless you write everything down, right?
Yeah.
That computer is backed up where it'll generate orders for you right at 1 minute before it dies, right? So in that desktop where you're sitting down, on the right side, it says downtime. There's a folder on there. Inside that folder, if you click it,
Okay.
there's actually a policy and procedure on there on how to open downtime, where I kind of just go over step by step on how to open it. And that policy procedure is going to walk you through how to open up Matrix and generate orders for all your residents in the building. So so on these, if it's a planned event, Amira is going to print them out. Is gonna generate these orders and put them in a folder, and I'll say east, west, and south, and it's going to have monitors, orders, and treatments. Okay, and the PDF looks just like this, basically, guys. And you'll be able to edit it, these orders, and you'll be able to put your name on there that you gave it. Okay,
Just like
and
a
so and then you can save it, so that way you have real-time orders, and then you can also jot down that you gave the orders
so
today.
that goes in there.
Yeah, so each one of you guys are going to have one. There's also one for resource nurse.
Okay.
Okay, and there's one for clerk, but there's one for each hallway. Okay, we're going to be prepared, because last time, like I said, we were unprepared. I really didn't know what to do because the internet was down. But also for CNAs, we're doing everything by paper. So the LVNs, we're covered by this computer, but the CNAs, they're going to have to jot everything down by paper. And it's all on that folder. I created every single one of these CNA downtime charting. And so we're able to like chart and get the information that is needed for charting for not only LVNs, but also CNAs. Okay. Any questions on how to do that? Okay.
I
Yes.
have a stupid question.
Yes.
So is this the same thing when Matrix itself has their scheduled downtime?
The downtime, we can work around it because it's only like 1 or 2 hours. and hopefully we're not passing that much meds. But yes, absolutely. If you have a downtime with Matrix that's lasting more than 4 hours and you have to give medication and you don't have an order, you can generate those same orders under downtime on that computer where you're sitting down, Satomi or Sandy. There's a little folder that says downtime, and it gives you instruction on how to generate these orders. Okay.
Okay, so
plug that into
even
their
if
laptop.
Matrix
Okay,
itself
so this
is
right here, this is not an actual. This you have to actually take that order that your computer generates and dump it on here.
So it's not already in there.
No, it's not
That's
already in
empty.
there. No, this is all empty. So if there's a downtime today, guys, the order are going to be different from next month because you have new patient, new orders, right? So yeah. So that's why these are not. I wish it could just like generate
That would
in
be
hard,
nice,
yeah,
and
right?
just plug it
Yeah.
in there,
So we're not there yet. In 2090,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
it's just like by cloud or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
But right now,
maybe in a few years.
we create it from your computer and
Okay.
take it and put them in here. Okay, so it's so much easier than writing it all down. Okay, any questions on that?
But when
Um,
power is down, even computer is
It
down.
generates the order, so it generates the order offline. So it's already offline. Yeah, this is according to lock. So
Okay. It backs up. Long
It-
is backing up for
Yeah.
an hour.
it's the only computer that's able to back up online orders.
Okay.
It's that one that you have.
Yeah. It always,
Okay.
it always works.
Yeah.
You just
It's only on the
plug it in,
resource
runs up generators.
Okay. So guys, what I want the mirror to do, because I think this might be a challenge. I mean, it's not gonna happen all the time. If I teach you this now, you might forget tomorrow or next week, and it won't happen until 2 years from now. But what Amira can do, if you can just go, just teach it to the resource nurse. Just whenever you have time. Doesn't have to be tomorrow or the next day. But sit down with Sandy, sit down with Satomi, and see if you can teach them how to generate these orders at the resource nurse, and that would be great. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. The last thing I'm gonna go over, or no, that's a couple more things. I'm gonna go real quickly. I promise you. I made a video on how to collect UA, guys. Okay, and right now our UAs are being done in a different manner where you have if you grab a bag of this right here, you're gonna have two test tubes, and there's vacuum inside, there's pressure inside, and one is for UA and one is for culture and sensitivity. Okay, make sure that we're doing both, guys, because if you do just one, that's all you're gonna get. You're only gonna get the UA, you're not gonna get the culture. Okay, so this right here, the remainder stuff you can throw away. So you get your urine, your specimen, you put them in here. You cap it off. You take this little piece of paper right here, right? And then there's a minimum line. So when you push them in here, make sure you're filling the minimum line. Just let it sit there until you fill it up, basically. Because once you take it off, that's it. You're not gonna be able to put it back and fill it some more. Okay? It's pressurized. Once you put them in, the pressures are gone. So make sure that you're filled up at least the minimum when you're doing this. Okay? The same thing here for the culture and sensitivity. You push it in, you get as much as you can in there under the minimum line, and then you get rid of it. You throw the rest of this away. Okay, there's a needle in here. Be careful. It has a sleeve on there, but you can throw the rest of that away. You can label this, and this is what needs to be sent out. What's happening right now also is some of our problems, and I get that we have problems with labs, but we need to communicate with our resource nurse and our clerks so that way they can call it in and have labs get this picked up. Too many times these specimens are just sitting in our refrigerator, and we have to do it again because nobody knows that they're there. And then Blanca was like, well, I didn't know. I would have known. I would have called the labs. So if you're collecting UA, please, however way you need to communicate, either verbal or write it down on a 24-hour log, or tell the resource nurse or the clerk. You can go in Matrix and even send messages on there, but they need to know so that way they can call it in. On weekends, we have problems with labs from time to time. I hear that we have some problems with labs. We're trying to fix that problem right now. Monday through Friday is usually a good time to kind of do our labs. On the weekends, we are going to run some issues. Okay, just like any companies out there. Okay, on weekends, we get into issues with weekends as well. So nobody's perfect, and I get that on labs. We get that as well. Any questions on how to do UA? Okay. Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a question, not so much on the UA, but did you figure out, because I guess it sounds like you've been working on it, why it is that the lab people are saying that a stool sample is expired?
Yeah. So
I've just gotten it.
That part I didn't know. I was told by Blanca that they just didn't show up when they called them, and then upon showing up, they just told them basically that they expired. So
Well, what is the expiration on a stool sample? remind me if anybody knows.
Sam, what's the expiration on the stool sample? I mean, I think the stool sample is good for at least 72 hours. You have a time frame when you collect it, you put it in the fridge, right?
24, 48. We can Google it.
Yeah, I don't know the time frame, unfortunately, with the stool sample, but that I've heard that labs has been telling our staff, and this is not the one person doesn't represent a company, right? So apparently a lab tech was telling Blanca that, oh, the insurance didn't go through, so we're not sending you your lab results. That's illegal. Okay, so you just gotta report that individual, because it's likely they're just being lazy. You can't, like, when you go to the emergency, they have to treat you, then you get the bill. Can you imagine? Let's put this in perspective in terms of lab results, right? I get the lab results, I get the bill later, but they can't tell you that, hey, the insurance didn't go through, so we didn't send you the lab results. That's crazy.
Yeah, I have the answer. Our stool sample generally has a very short expiration date and should ideally be delivered to the lab within a few hours of collection, depending on the test. Most stool samples are considered reliable if analyzed within 24 hours.
Oh.
And should be
24 hours,
refrigerated
okay.
if not delivered immediately. That's it.
Okay,
That's
thank you,
AI.
Sandy.
AIs. You're welcome.
Okay, you see the AI is gonna take our jobs away.
I know.
Well, they're very helpful resources.
Right.
Tell AI to collect some stool samples.
So
Okay.
now we only have a vacuum specimen cup, right? And can we use it for stool?
The vacuum?
No, because that container, we don't have regular container now.
No, we should get a regular container then. I'll have Blanca.
Viviana said lab only send this one. They don't have other like a regular container now.
They should have one for
Yeah.
stool, John, because that's for urine.
Yeah. Okay, let me reach out to lab real
Okay,
quick
cool.
to see what's going on. I know they brought in a bunch of like test tubes for viruses and bacteria, but we should have just regular specimen cup, right?
Yeah. Or sputum or any.
Yeah. Okay, I'll reach out to lab to see what's going on.
Thank you.
Any questions on how to collect the UA? Okay. Let's go over GG care planning. Ja has edited our care plan, and I'm going to show
Oh my
you
God,
guys.
will you stop saying that? You're saying that so that people blame me because it's so long.
Yeah, so it's like it's so much work now, right? And she was the one that actually put this together.
Oh my God.
Okay.
It was me.
Oh, it was Alexis
I
too.
told her to do it.
Is that because of
Okay.
the new Medicare guidelines?
Yes, yeah.
So
It's changed.
I know a lot of you guys have done the GG charting, right? You guys are familiar with the GG charting, and it's asking you all kinds of questions. How long did this patient walk, or how often did blah blah blah? So the care plan, it actually reflects some of those questions from the GG.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so
She did a very good job, actually. I mean, I'm talking about job.
Oh, thank you, but I don't want to get blamed. I'm like, what the hell is she doing?
well, I think she spent like 12 hours on this.
I
so-
know what the what.
No, I did not.
Okay, the ADL function, right? It's got the care plan with the stars on it. If you take a look at this, it looks a lot different now. So it's got all kinds of questions right here, and this is mostly for Satomi and Sandy. But
You just check.
yeah, you check off on how they're eating, how they're moving around. Can they do this? Can they do that? A lot of these guys, the care plan, you're not going to be able to answer within 24 hours from admission.
Right.
But this is why care plan should be done like during the whole week.
Correct.
When you're passing meds and you know that the patient is now ambulating 150 feet and
You don't know
before
what
they
they're
were
doing
laying
yet.
down, you should click off on this and update your care plan. Okay,
And
so
just to be clear, it's not a click, it's numerical. It's
Numerical.
from 1 to 6.
Correct.
But all the directions are in there.
Correct.
So
With 6 being what?
six
being good or
independent
bad?
resident completes the activity.
Independent.
5 set up or
it's
clean
on
up
there.
assistance.
Oh,
Yeah. So 4 supervision or touching assistance. Yeah. So this is primarily for our admissioners, but also if you're passing meds and you're doing your GG, you can go in here and
That's why
update
there's
some
a
of this as well.
3-day
Yeah.
GG.
Your resource nurse are not going to necessarily know everything about this patient because they're not passing meds. You guys are the ones that are passing meds. You're absolutely going to know about how your patients are moving about. Okay. So the GG, you all know, right? They get admitted. They're like requiring extensive assist upon admission, within discharge 30 days from now, they're walking around. And so we need to be able to update our care plan
And
to
that's
reflect
what
that.
they want to know.
Yeah.
John, that we skill them so that they achieve prior level of function or improve.
They
Right.
want to know they're getting their money's worth.
Correct.
That's the most important.
Yeah.
It's a financial issue. Yeah. They want to make sure they're getting what they pay
Right.
for. Or the person is getting
Yeah.
services that they're here for.
Right.
Okay. Any questions or any comments on that?
No.
Okay. So Amira is here. She's been working really hard on auditing, but we are going to be like hammering down on Medicare charting, guys. We have 13 Medicares right now, and some of our charting on Medicare has been kind of below the adequate requirements. Okay, so this paper that I kind of shared with you guys, they should go over on how to chart with your Medicare charting. Okay, so your Medicare charting should not only have your vitals on there, their patient's ability to transfer or move about. If their diagnosis is diabetes, absolutely you should be checking, like be adding on there what their blood sugar, did they eat, and did they increase fluids, anything that has to do with diabetes, right? But on this piece of paper, this is an incredible piece of document actually when it comes to Medicare charting, because it tells you how to even like chart on here, right? Physical therapy stands for transfer, rolls in bed with less help, rolls in bed with self, tolerates sitting in wheelchair. It gives you like wording on how to document physical therapy.
Right. They want a better picture. So before it was just bed mobility. Now it's how they roll in bed, how they scoot to the edge of the bed and are able to sit down on the edge of the bed. Stuff like that. It's like more thorough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah. When they're sitting in the
More
wheelchair, are
detail.
they able to wheel themselves 50 feet? And are they able to turn?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're dependent, then you just score like one or
Mhm.
and six being independent and one being
60 and higher.
correct.
So I'll go over some of this stuff in terms of diagnosis, guys. And if your patient comes in, for example, with respiratory issue, respiratory therapy, respiratory function, describe any SOB experienced by resident, especially when lying flat. That's really important when somebody has respiratory issue that you're mentioning. We increase we raise the head of bed up, the oxygen is in place or whatnot. The SpO2 was this.
That's,
right?
That's non-therapy ancillary. It has a score of 1. So all the ones that have acute respiratory failure with hypoxia always have a non-therapy ancillary score of 1, which means more payment for us.
More payment. So Alexis is really banging this on our head regarding payments here. Okay. Describe accurately breath sounds over all lungs aspects. Describe effectiveness of any respiratory treatments. Describe comfort level related to respiratory status. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It just kind of tells you how to chart on respiratory. But let's go over other stuff in here, like IV. Describe nature of IV fluid, feeding IV medication. Include reason for use, nursing skills and observation use in administration of medication. Describe effectiveness of any side effects observed. Describe how resident tolerated such therapy, IV infiltration, fluid volume. And then in the back, there's more stuff on here where it goes over like pain management, describe location, frequency, intensity of pain. It's just a really good document to go over if you're charting your Medicare charting. Don't just put in there shit. The patient is having pain. I give them Tylenol. It's great. You got to mention the diagnosis, what they're in there for, how they're moving about, how they're eating, how they're taking their meds. We have to be really thorough with our Medicare charting. If we don't do that, guys, you're going to get an audit. I'll probably text you if you're not following through in your audit. Like I said, Amir, we have a brand new medical record. She's coming from from the top and going even higher here. But she's got somebody who's kind of going over with her with training on how to monitor this charting. And so just make sure that with your Medicare patient that we're charting adequately for them. Okay, because we're going to really look into this. So make sure. And it shouldn't be hard, guys. This is all the same for all your patients. They're coming in. It's usually pain, comfort, respiratory, whatever the diagnoses are, how they're moving about, physical therapy, what kind of assistance do they need, what did you do for this resident, right? So and it applies for all your residents that just came in within the last 30 days.
But it adds
or in
to
Medicare.
your skills as an LVN or an RN. It improves your critical thinking skills as well.
Right.
So this is actually also for you.
Right. So does anybody have, I know you guys, a lot of us in there have been a nurse for a very long time. You guys have
Right.
inputs on how to chart properly and how to, if you have suggestions for our nurses, let us know. I mean, I'm still learning. Jock would probably learn here a few things here and there. So if you have an input for us, let us know. Let your coworkers know, what are some of your, you know, some skills that you want to share with us in terms of charting, for these medications to make everybody's life a little easier.
I always go with the head to toe model.
Right.
You know,
And that's how I do clinical
so
sequencing
that's,
as well.
and it
Yeah.
kind of includes everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Orientation, appetite, what kind of diet are they on? Breath sounds.
Right. Going down.
Yeah, going down.
And then,
Yeah. Tummy,
that's- yeah.
abdomen, when the last bomb,
Right.
can they urinate? Do they have a frequency? Do they have swelling in their feet? Are they having then incisions? You have to include incisions.
Right.
Their back incisions in the back. If you don't do the dressing, just put dressing dry and intact.
Mhm.
Yeah, just go down the line. It takes time, but
I have
it's
Supreme
it's-
confidence in
yeah, but
everybody
it
here.
gets faster as you get more apt to it and get used to it. So, yeah.
Good.
John,
Yes, sir.
Just a touch up on the care plan, how to make care plan. Sometimes when you're making care plan, the care plan is supposed to stay in the care plan. On the drop down,
Mhm.
if you put it on a monitor or treatment, it's gonna show on there
I know
forever.
people need to write
Yeah,
care
so I
plan.
just added a couple days ago.
Are people screwing
Do
up on that?
you want to show?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to put care plans. If you don't,
So what he's saying is that,
EMR or each.
and this is mostly for our resource nurse, admission nurses, when you're adding a care plan, don't add it as an order, because what happens then is that the nurses on the floor has to click off on this care plan as if it's an order, when in reality it's actually a care plan. So on here under REI care plan, under add a problem, right here. So frequency.
Always put care plan.
If you put frequency in here, like TID or BID or any of that, it's gonna show up on the MAR. And then now the nurses on the floor who's like been passing meds, they're like, what the heck is this
It won't
BID?
show up if you put care plan interventions. It won't show up under that.
And you can even find it.
Yeah, and then sometimes sometimes we put this is what we do in the flow sheet. We put medication or treatments or monitors in there. You're gonna drive your nurses on the floor crazy because, and not only they can't find the orders on their orders because it's not an order, they have to look through the care plans to see where it is in the care plan. It's a mess. So if you are adding this care plan, guys, please make sure that you're not like tampering around, putting it in a flow sheet or putting BID or TID on there. Anytime you're dealing with care plans, you shouldn't have to put BID, TID, or putting it in any kind of flow sheets, because I've been to where Albert was talking about, and I'm just like, I'm looking for this order, like, where the heck is it? You can't find any orders. And then you go into care plans and you have 20 care plans. You have to go to every single care plans and unclick that specific care plan. And it might take you all day to find it. So it's like, it's a mess. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Good. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way we can make the chart easier, like, instead of narrative, just checklist or something? This is a lot of time.
With Medicare chart, yes, I'm working on so the other option is opening up a Medicare charting that's related to their diagnosis. So this was actually suggested by Ricky. It's just that what I have to do now is go inside Matrix and create Medicare charting, and I have to create every single one of them specific to, for example, they're coming in for COPD. I have to open a problem for COPD. You click COPD and you just click off on it. And so, but then when you're looking for the care plan, you have to not only know your patient, but know that they're diagnosed with COPD. And so, for example, if it's Medicare, right, and then you click respiratory, and then the diagnosis is actually diabetes, then that's not going to work out for that Medicare charting for that patient, right? Because they came in for a specific diagnosis. You have to open it based on that.
They are usually like comorbidities of the opinion.
I know, but like there's a specific diagnosis that they come in from,
You
right?
mean the primary.
The primary diagnosis,
Correct.
yeah. So, but that's the ticket right there. Is that yes, we can open. You can do a click off scenario, but you just gotta know that, hey, this patient is admitted with, you know, COPD. I open up Medicare charting under COPD, and then I just click off basically based on that. Okay, so I'm gonna work on that, but I'm gonna end up filling that area with, you know, with a whole bunch of like observations, and so I don't know how that's gonna look, because you know how many diagnoses are out there.
A lot.
You know, there's a significant amount, and so, but we can't do a general like Medicare charting, because you'd check off on it, but like you'd still be like adding more stuff on there, more specific to that resident.
It needs to be individualized to the patient.
So, yeah, I need more time to kind of work on that. Me and Ricky's been talking about that, and I've been working with Matrix, and they haven't been really like giving me any kind of headways to make it easier. But I will. I'll have more time. I'll sit on this Matrix and try to figure that out. Okay, so we can make our Medicare charting a little faster. Okay, guys.
All right.
Any other stuff? No. All right. Thanks. I went over. Okay, guys. Can't see me, but I'm gonna go over how to chart when the internet is down. It's called downtime, and this specific charting is for our nurses that are on the floor. When we don't have internet, we are going to download the medication order, treatment orders, monitor orders, all in one little drive. So you can take this drive and put it in your laptop, and you'll have those same orders from Matrix be available on those drives. So you can actually give meds. I'm going to go over how to edit the PDF. So when you're giving meds, it's going to be a little bit more work than in Matrix, because you're actually editing and you're putting your initial on there. Okay, so I have this on here right now. When you pop these drives in, you'll be able to see that there's going to be a flow sheet. There's going to be this, for example, is the East flow sheet, and there's a treatment at the top right here. You have your MAR. Okay, so this is all your medication. So you just once you get on this page, you click it, and it'll bring forth this screen right here. Hold on one second, I'll bring that over right here. And just as you would on Matrix, you're gonna see this thing here, same here. Okay, and let me see here if I can, oops, edit here. Okay, all right, so down here, I'm going to remove some of these names here real quick, so that way I don't get in trouble. I'm gonna go actually edit this video now. Okay, so going back to this here, these medication, I went ahead and took the names of our resident on here, but as you can see, it's got all the diagnosis, everything that you need on this resident: diagnosis, ICD-10, and the actual order for medication. Now to make edit, so you're giving this medication, for example, I'm going to give, it's 8 p.m. now, I'm going to give the trazodone. You're going to simply go in this one right here. It's called fill and sign. This button right here on the top right. Let me see if you can see that. No, you can't. Okay, so let me see if I can fix. See this fill and sign button right here? You're going to click that, and then it'll allow you to have this hand right here. And then now you can click on that little box right there, right here. Okay, and you can go ahead and put your initial in there, HB. Okay, and so if you're giving another medication, obviously at 10 p.m. the carbidopa, levodopa at the bottom right here, you're gonna click that, and you're gonna click HB. Okay, so now you're actually just clicking and inputting your initial on here. Okay, when you're done, you're gonna go ahead and click the file at the top right here. Let's see if you can see that right here, the top left hand right here. You click that, and then you want to go to save. Okay, so there's a few ways to actually edit the PDF. You can go there, edit, and then you can do the edit text and images. This actually is not a good idea, because it won't give you the actual it won't let you edit anything that doesn't have open spot. It'll only allow you to edit things like this order here, or this Friday with already a data in there. It won't allow you to edit the areas where there's no data. Okay, so as I mentioned, the best way to edit the PDF when you're giving meds is to go to the fill and sign. Okay, so that's the button that we're gonna use when we're editing our when we're giving our medication. Okay, so hopefully that kind of makes things a little easy. It's great when we have a planned outage like this. We can prepare for it. If it's an unplanned outage, we can still print out the forms. You just have to talk to the resource nurse. We'll have to download it on the drive. Okay. So any questions, please ask me anything. I'll go over it real quickly with you guys. Thanks. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate on how to collect urinalysis. Okay, and so this cup right here obviously is filled with specimen urine. Okay, not really urine, it's just water. But there's a vacuum. There's a vacutainer in here. Okay, so after you collect the urine and you have safely put it in this cup, you have these two test tubes right here. Okay, one of them is just your regular UA, right? If you get an order for urinalysis, 99.9% of the times we want CNS with it. Okay, culture and sensitivity. So make sure you do both of these. There's a minimum line in here and there's a max line on here. Okay, so make sure please that you're doing at least the minimum. You just want to kind of put it right in the middle. Okay, there's also a minimum line in here, so you want to also do this for this tubes right here. Okay, so this right here is actually after you put the urine in here, you can take the piece of paper out and there's a needle inside that is actually covered by a rubber, so you can safely do what you need to do to get the urine out of here. Okay, so there's a vacuum in here. So this, you just plunge it inside, just like so, and you get, as you can see, some urine in there. Okay, and then take that out, and then we're right at the minimum there. Okay, right at the minimum. Now, your second cup, which is this one right here. This is for the culture and sensitivity. We had to fill this one as well. Okay, so make sure that you are filling this up. This is kind of like up there, the minimum. We passed the minimum. Make sure, guys, this one I kind of messed up on. Obviously, there's a certain amount of pressure on here. Okay. If you plunge it in once or twice, you might run out of pressure and you might not be able to add any more urine in there. So make sure that when you're initially putting him inside, you're getting at least the minimum. Okay, so I'm gonna try this out. This is the one I've already kind of done. Let's see if he has any more pressure in there. There's no more. Actually, you can only push this in one time. So make sure when you're initially putting this inside, that you're hitting at least the minimum on it, okay? Because when you put it in there the second time, there's no more pressure. You won't, if you're not in the minimum, you're gonna be below the minimum, and that's gonna be trash. You're gonna have to get a new one, okay? So make sure when you're initially putting him in here that you have enough, you have more than the minimum, because it doesn't look like you're gonna be able to put this back in here to kind of fill the rest of that, okay? So this is how you should be acquiring urinalysis. And when you're done with this, make sure you're labeling it and you're putting it in the refrigerator. But more importantly, you should be telling your resource nurse or your clerk, because what's happening right now is that we're acquiring these urinalysis, and we're not informing our nurses or the clerk, and so our urinalysis, our specimen is sitting in the fridge and it's not being collected. Okay, once this is done, please tell your clerk or your resource nurse so they can call lab to get it picked up. Okay, so if you have any further questions on how to collect these urinalysis, please let me know. At the moment, this is the process and this is the right way. Okay, thanks.